Hello my friends, and welcome back to my channel for another tarot pick a card reading. In today's tarot reading, we are going to be diving into what is next in this connection. So it most likely is going to be a love connection. However, you're more than welcome to interpret it for friendships, co-workers, whatever it may be, your crush. So that being said, make sure you get yourself into a receptive mode. Once you're there, you may pick your pile, and if you need to know how to get there, check out my video link down below as always on how to pick a card using your intuition. We have our pile 1, pile 2, and pile 3. I'll see you at your timestamps. Hi group 1, we're going to get started with your tarot pick a card reading all about what's next in this connection. So put the tarot cards aside for now. We are going to lay the foundation with some of these cards that I already pulled for this connection and to kind of represent where you and this person are at. So my intention is for you to be over here and them to be over here. If you need to swap energies, of course, do that. But if this part doesn't resonate, maybe try picking another pile, okay? So first and foremost, let's start with our archetypes for each person. You are coming out as the athlete, which says dedicated to transcending physical limits, including handicaps, development of personal willpower and strength of spirit, misuse of athletic ability for selfish ends, false sense of invulnerability and entitlement. And then they are coming out as warrior. So strength, skill, discipline, and toughness of will, heroism, stoicism, and self-sacrifice and conquering the ego. And then shadow is trading ethical principles for victory at any cost, indifference to the suffering inflicted on others. Some clarifiers for where our energies are focused. You are more focused with the ascendant, and their energy is more focused on Mercury, which I'll explain all this just in a moment. I'm just going to place the cards to get started. Your energy is also clarified by decision, and they are being clarified by love. And then the overall connections energy right now is reflection. Okay, so I already have a lot to say on this energy for one, because it feels like you guys are very similar. I mean, with athlete and warrior, you guys have this natural endurance and sense of will, and like it says, like for both of these, like there's a certain strength in your spirit that is very like a go-getter type energy. And I feel like this person actually feels very compelled to you for a lot of the reasons that you're compelled to them. Like maybe you guys both have really good physiques. You guys may both really have like a strong sense of self, strong opinions, that sort of thing. Like I think you guys can be both very headstrong as well. I see that as a connecting energy, but with reflection and 33 being your connecting energy overall, it feels like you guys really make each other think. And it, you know, 33 is a master number. It gives a lot of inspiration, but also like the power to execute that inspiration in a way that gets the group going and gets this kind of expansive, creative energy kind of bubbling. And, you know, it's interesting because I feel like both of you guys can be quite practical. I'm seeing on your side that you are always looking to make decisions that grow yourself. I feel like you're very focused on self-improvement and just truly making good decisions for your future. And while this other person is also like that, I feel like there is a part of them that is very guarded and is very like, I don't know, like there's something about love when it comes to this person that they have walls up around. They have certain opinions about that. I feel like, you know, maybe the way that they act makes you reflect on how they're thinking. And then also the way you act makes them, you know, overthink and get into this kind of opinionated state that they have about love. It's very interesting because I do feel like this person loves you and like has a lot of respect for you and just finds you to be a really important person in their energy, in their circle. Like they really care about your opinion. And, you know, I think something that they worry about is that like maybe you're only looking out for yourself, or that you would be willing to sacrifice certain things in order to, like, you know, a means to an end sort of situation. So it's funny because I think that has a lot more to do with this person's history and what they've gone through. This person has a little bit of a battered energy, and not in a way where they're weak at all. This person is the opposite of weak. I mean, the things that they've endured are true to that. And I think you in a very similar way are like this. You know, I think you might be a little bit more vocal about your strength, but this person, it's just in its energy. It's like something they wear, basically. Like, you know, and maybe this person really, like, you can see it in their clothing. You can see it in their appearance. Like, there's something about them that really wears the weight of what they have to carry, but in a way that it's like, it's settled in them. Like, I that's kind of the best way that I can explain this. So in this connection though, like I said, you guys really emulate this go-getter energy. And I think there's something interesting about what we're seeing here, because this person, you are being seen with a focus on needing to make a decision. And somehow, you know, this decision kind of looks like a lonely path for you. I'm seeing a lot of self-focus on your end. Whereas this person, you know, there's a lot of integration with other people. So I feel like maybe that's what you guys are in right now and dealing with, is maybe you're in a period of separation, and that's why you're in this reflective energy where maybe you are realizing you need to pull away and focus on yourself and really dedicate yourself to maybe some physical challenges that you've had, like when it comes to independence, or kind of forming a sense of self that's really solid in your own independence and individuality and your own assertive abilities. Like, that is a challenge that I think that this has kind of brought into your awareness and into your focus a lot more because of maybe, like I said, this separation. But this person is kind of battling with a different problem. And I think that has a lot more to do with people's opinions when it comes to love. And that's a really vague way to put it, but I feel like that's the best way to put it, because, you know, maybe it's commentary from their coworkers or friends or family. Like, there's something here where this person's close area, they've seen and heard so much about relationships and different things that they feel very defensive and combative almost in trying to sort out what love really is. And I think it's interesting too, because maybe this person is older. Like I said, they've been through enough things that you're like, well, I feel like you should discern that by now. But, you know, this person maybe has not gone through a lot of good situations. Like, that is something that's really coming up here. It's had them form some pretty strong opinions about things that I don't think they talk about. So it comes to, like, this person thinks a lot. And so I think at times in your relationship, it might come to a standstill because this person is really confused about how to do a relationship and how to do love. And, you know, like I said, maybe that's pushed you out in your own direction. But, you know, let's get into the tarot cards to see what is happening next in this connection. Where's this energy headed? Both of you guys just have a lot of self-focused drives right now. And I think, like I said, yours is about independently building, and theirs is about learning how to be cooperative when building. Not even building, just like getting the ideas. Because that's the thing, is I think this person can build with whoever, whenever, but they don't always latch on to the right people that are in it for the right reasons, is kind of how it feels. Alrighty. Dropping cards. Alright, we have the Page of Wands, the Three of Pentacles. Let me pull this back a little bit. Oop. There we go. You have the Devil, the Two of Swords, and one more. Fool. Okay, yeah. So like I said, this person and you are both struggling with releasing bad habits and really trying to decide like where you can take certain risks and chances. And maybe in this relationship, a lot of that focus has been thwarted. Like, you know, it's almost like getting burned, I feel like, for having some sort of inspiration. But I feel like you guys eventually will get back on the saddle again, because we have the Page of Wands here. So this to me gives like a proclamation of like, I'm ready to start again. I'm ready to do something again here. And this time, you know, I'm not going down without a fight. I feel like there's a part of you guys that are coming from a really like fulfilled reflection period where it's going to be a lot more easy for you guys to collaborate, because then we're seeing, I mean, this is the before tarot, which I love because it's perfect for this reading. But we see with the Three of Pentacles coming together, and this could be reconciling, but also looking at the framework of the situation that you're in right now and really learning how to work with that. Because I do see that there are some pretty heavy burdens that maybe both of you guys are dealing with, and I think you guys could actually help each other a lot. But sometimes there can be a restraining part of this relationship that I think plays into this fear of like helping each other and leaning on each other. And that's what kind of can make or break what you guys do and how you handle it. So part of me with this Two of Swords here is thinking that I think it's best at times to almost like, I don't know, I'm seeing this as like you guys both having strong opinions about something, and it's like putting the blindfold on and just being like, okay, but what feels right? And like that to me makes me feel like, when we're going through struggles like this, and because this is like a rehashing, like I said, like a reconciliation, things coming together, and it's like, okay, like let's get going on this again, like let's look at what happened. And that's where you might find that there are some like obsessive controlling qualities or like strong arming tendencies between the two of you. Because like I said, you both have really strong opinions, but to let bygones be bygones sometimes and really pick your battles can create a lot more friendliness in this scenario. Because that's what we're seeing with the Fool here as well. Like, you don't know somebody is your friend until you really give them that opportunity. And I think that's what's kind of happening here is like, sometimes you guys wouldn't even allow each other to be there for each other because you guys jumped right into action right away, right into just responding and, coming maybe from places of self-defense. And I feel like going forward, there's going to be a realization here that if things are going to work between you guys, you need to be more like mindful and more emotionally mindful and more emotionally willing to be at ease in a situation, even if you're not hearing exactly what you want to hear. Because I feel like, maybe when this person brings up their struggles or you bring up theirs, like you guys can both get really like, we'll just fix it kind of energy. And that's not exactly proactive to, somebody who's really living that situation, who knows they need to fix that. So and that's where this control energy is coming in as being a problem. So I think in the future, there's going to be this realization of like, are we going, we see it here, I guess, as decision is saying like, am I really going to let this bother me? Am I really going to let this be what is, the hill I die on kind of feeling? And then with love here, it's like, am I really going to deny myself love just because of an opinion that I have? Like, that's what I'm seeing here. And that's why you guys are very similar and very mirrored in a way. You just have really different ways of kind of proving that part of you. Because I think you can be really logical. You can be really like focused on abundance for yourself in a way that this person can kind of get lost in that. And then this person can be so guarded that they just don't let love in, and they don't even let you guys really be happy when, you want that. So, and that's where things conflict, because when that's going against, like their opinion is going against your battle of will here, like that can be a lot of problems that come up essentially. I need some water. Ugh, I just got so parched all of a sudden. So yeah, and that's funny because I was just thinking like feeling parched from talking so much. And I think that's the thing here is like water represents emotions. And so like maybe you guys like talk or think so much that like you really dry up your own emotional energy, so it's hard to be loving and empathetic to another person. But that's what we're seeing here with the Two of Swords and the Fool. There's a moment where you need to just realize certain things are sensitive subjects to people and are hard things for them to talk about and deal with. So like you have to learn empathy if you want to be in someone's life. And I think that is the thing to be learned in this current period. Let's see more of what we can expect to happen next here for this connection for pile number 1. We have Guardian. We have Caution. It's funny, it says find out more information, don't overwork yourself. Exactly. So I feel like going back to what we were saying earlier, like there's something here where you guys don't empathize well sometimes with the struggles that someone's going through. And like when it says find out more information, it's like you might be being that person to tell them to do something that they've already been doing or they've already tried, you know what I mean? So that's why it's saying don't or that you need to find out information and not to overwork yourself, because you might actually be adding to this person's anxiety with your like critiques and your like advice. And that's why it's saying, like, proceed with caution. And then with guardian here, I just feel like that's you guys being help to each other, being that guardian angel that's watching over someone. Like, if you really want to do that, you need to tread, not lightly, but, like, you need to be conscious. You know, you can't try to martyr the help in the situation and force your will into it. We have a liar. Interesting. And then we have yes. Clarify the liar for me with the tarot. Four of Pentacles. And the Six of Swords. I feel like this person, like I said, was really defensive about their feelings when it was talked about in the past, you know, and like I said, that's why there's this split. So I feel like with liar here, with the Four of Pentacles and the Six of Swords clarifying it, I feel like this person needed a get out quick plan. Like they almost felt overwhelmed with all of this help that you were offering them, that I think they were like, you know what, I'm gonna do what I can to like get out of this situation. And I don't think that they meant that poorly. Like I think that is just a pattern this person has, but I think that there is a part of them that might regret not like asking for your help. And I think that's what's going to come back up here, is that they're going to look back and see if that offer is still available. And I feel like it will be available. I feel like you will be happy to hear from them when they come around, because there's something here about you guys holding on to each other and maybe pretending like that's not the case. I think both of you guys are treading lightly now and proceeding with caution, maybe because things were said in a moment of, you know, that parched energy where there's not much emotions being involved and just a lot of thought, basically, or reasoning, quote unquote. So really a battle of wills though. And I feel like both of you guys know that you guys do want to hang out with each other. You do want to hold on to each other. You know, we started over here with making something and look, like I said, looking at the foundation. So now it's like being able to really accept that foundation for the sturdiness that it provides and let that help you heal and let that help you move forward. And it feels like you guys are both on that path of realizing that, like, you know what, like we are better healing this sort of mentality together, because it's an interpersonal sort of problem. I feel like this person is going to want to come back to you for that reason and perhaps communicate and let you know that they have feelings, like they were lying about their defensive, basically, or things were just like lies they might have said in defense for protecting themselves from love, because they're afraid of love, but they want it. And that's what's really, you know, drawing you in, but also confuses the whole situation, because it's like, it's just being scared. All right, so what's going to happen here? You and your loved ones are safe. Yeah, I'm just going to say, I feel like any collateral people in this situation are also very, like going to be taken care of and kind of notice the situation's shift, and like both of you guys having a little bit more respect for each other. Let's see. A fiery climax approaches, and you are good enough. Back of the deck is your commitment is being tested. Exactly, yeah. So this feels like it was like, in terms of like through thick and thin, this was definitely a thick phase of life where there was a lot of lessons to be learned, a lot of weight to be pulled, but it feels like there is a divine kind of blessing coming out of this situation, like a final relief of like, wow, I found somebody that does make me feel good enough. And there is like a reflection period here that brings that. So, you know, with the devil here, there was some delays that I think helped you guys sort out maybe the importance of each other in each other's lives. So what's next feels like there is this big, like it says climax here after a period of reflection where you realize, you know, who your loved ones are and what you can do to make them feel safe. And knowing that you are enough to do that, it's just a matter of changing your willpower and how you're using it. So it feels like a very like a mature growth of like, you know, we're two separate people in charge of ourselves, but we can use that to the advantage of others. And it's really important to listen to their opinions while they give, you know, their 2 cents about a situation or why we should do something or how we should do something, but also give them credit for when they tell you how they're already doing it and whatnot. So there's something here about, like I said, respect and learning how to more appropriately show that in an emotional way. So people are feeling cared for and seen. So yeah, group 1, that is your reading for today. So if you like this message, please make sure you give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more intuitively channeled messages like this. If you want to book a reading with me, check out my link below to my snip feed, or you can DM me on Instagram, whatever works best for you. Otherwise, I'm going to skedaddle and I'll see you guys in a later video. Peace. Hello, group 2. Let's get started with your tarot pick a card reading all about what is next in this connection. So we're going to set the tarot aside to start. And we'll place the oracle cards to get a foundation on you or your person. So my intention is to have you guys over here and them over here. If you need to swap the energies, please do. But if you find neither resonate, please just pick a different pile or choose a different reading, as it might not be for you. So starting off with our archetype cards, you are coming out as the Queen, radiates the regal feminine, uses her benevolent authority to protect others. And then we have becomes arrogant when authority is challenged, controlling, and demanding. Then we have for them storyteller, ability to express or experience and express life through stories and symbols. And then shadow is making up tales that harm others. Clarifying your energy, we have expansive. And clarifying their energy, we have commitment. Clarifying yours again, we have 7th house. And then clarifying theirs, we have 3rd house. And then your connecting energy for this relationship is tenderness. Beautiful. So right away, on your side of things, you are coming off as a very queen-like energy, regal energy, someone who knows their worth and really has their ish together. You know, I feel like you are somebody that might have your own home, own business, your own thing going. Like you are very, like you see a lot of potentials. Maybe you have a lot of people that are in business with you. Maybe you work with a lot of people. Like you're just well known and well respected. I think whatever you have going for yourself, like bravo to you for real, because it seems to be beautiful. It seems to be something that a lot of people know takes a lot of work and takes a lot of learning, takes a lot of just dedication. Like there's a part of you that is very obviously someone that is solid, and that is definitely how this person is seeing you as well. I feel like they see a lot of potential in you and see that you are a very like hopeful, energized person. I feel like there's a bubbliness when you approach them too. Like you are very just warm in your energy and always have something to offer. Like even if you're having an off day when you see them, even if you're anxious, like no matter what it is, like you still bring 100 to the table. And this person really likes that. If anything, they might talk about that. You know, with storyteller, I feel like this is somebody that really likes to not gossip, but like just tell stories about their life, you know, like, I mean, maybe that's a thing for you guys is when you get together, like it's like they come and just tell you all these stories about themselves. I feel like you're really inspired by their stories. They have so many different experiences in life that you are really just wowed by. You know, I feel like you guys are both very wowed by each other and think really highly of each other. There's, you know, tenderness connecting you guys in the number 40. So the stability here is like something they've never seen before. It's something that you know, like I said, when you come together, like there's safety and there's fun and there's just everything you could ever want from a partnership. And obviously, if you're at this reading, there's some more to it, but obviously there is a baseline love for each other that comes from this, like, being able to see each other for their very fascinating qualities. I think this person is really interesting and wants to come off interesting. So it works well for them. And same with you. You want to be seen as a queen, but you are a queen and you act like a queen. You present that way. I feel like you guys really might come off to each other in perfect ways that the other is looking for. And that's a very big attractive quality between you guys, because it's hitting the soft spot. It's like, it makes me think of when somebody is like, gives you your favorite food, or they're like, oh, I made you a cake for your birthday and it's the exact kind that you love. Like, that's how you guys in connection feel, where it's like, oh my God, like this is exactly what I like. So it's funny because I do feel like you are really hopeful about expanding this relationship. You see connection, you see commitment, you see this going somewhere. You see it basically as a cherry on top of the sundae that you already have going for you. Like, you just, it's just perfect. And I feel like being such a strong, driven woman, or whoever you are, but like, this is very feminine energy, very like a homemaker. And that's something that is so evident that that's something that you want, because it exudes out of you in everything you do. Maybe, like I said, you have a very beautiful home. Maybe you are somebody that when you go into your job, like you, I don't know, you do the extra things. Like, it makes me think of like my friend who's a barista, who she'll bring in like sprinkles because she knows people like sprinkles on their like shakes sometimes, or stuff like that. Like, just going the extra mile though is the point. Like, doing something to really add zest to a situation. And that is very tempting to this person for sure. I feel like this person with commitment and third house being their clarifier with storyteller, like, as they're telling, you know, people these stories, or they're going through them in their own mind when it comes to you, I feel like they're realizing like, wow, like this is somebody that is wifey material. This is somebody that is, you know, a long-term type of partner. Maybe you guys have been together for a long time, or maybe there is just some sort of time or connection, like commitment that has been going on here. You know, with expansive and commitment here, it makes me feel like there is some sort of solid base that you guys are at with each other, that it's very equal emotional feeling that you guys share. And there's no question of that really in this person's mind. It just seems that they are naturally a flighty person and may struggle with the idea of like solidifying commitment. And maybe it's just because of the stories that they tell. They have realized that there's so much life to live and there's so many things to do. You know, this is a very narrative oriented person. So the things that they say to and about themselves are very important, because they really cater to this person's ability to see what lies ahead. And I feel like this person has never really experienced what they have with you. So it's made them unclear and unsure about how this could go. So, you know, while they might talk all good game and like they know how things are going and they know where they stand with the commitment and they know this and that and the other thing, you're an appealing prize to be won in their eyes no matter what. And that's what's not settling right with them, I should say. You know, the tenderness of this connection is very tempting, very alluring, really makes this person think a lot about you and you them, honestly. Like I said, I think you both are just razzle-dazzled by each other and see each other and recognize each other as a soulmate type of person. So let's see what is next in this connection. Okay, we have the Knight of Cups. What is next in this connection for pile 2? The Six of Swords. The Hanged One. Judgment. And one card. The Knight of Wands. All right, in the back of the deck is the Tower. I knew I should have looked in the back. That's why I was like, there's something going on. Okay, so with this being here, this could be more of in the past that's kind of prepping this future momentum, because we're having the Tower here and then the Nine of Cups and the Nine of Pentacles. Okay, yeah. So we're seeing a very single energy here, one that's really holding into their strengths. And like I said, your strengths is just being your queen self, and their strengths are being a storyteller, someone that tells a narrative. And I feel like this person may have been telling a narrative that might have been a little damaging to the connection. You know, we have the Tower and then we have the Nine of Cups and the Nine of Pentacles. That really gives this sort of illusion, or not the word I was looking for, like it alludes to that there was some sort of fallout between you guys that happened because it was like everybody for themselves. And I think that is something that really expanded this relationship in a way, because I think after this period of probably separation, or if you guys just had some really tense times, like it feels like there is some sort of opportunity to come here, because we do have the Knight of Cups and the Six of Swords. So I feel like there is going to be a resolution to come. You know, I do see this as maybe you reaching out first and offering some sort of like peace. And maybe it doesn't go anywhere right away. Like maybe things just kind of are like settled, you know, like you guys aren't at each other's necks, or you guys aren't, because I feel like you guys can have a really wordy stance on things. Like, at least you do. I feel like you have a lot to say about certain topics, and this person does as well. But because they have told themselves certain stories, they kind of are like sticking to their story, is what it feels like. So I feel like maybe that is what this issue was here. And it was like, no, I'm fine on my own. I don't need anybody. It's whatever. Like, you know, you want to go to the next phase, but I'm not sure if I'm ready for commitment or not. This Knight of Cups does allude to like an offer being given, like taking steps emotionally and just really letting your guard down and just being like, you know what, I'm going to be the bigger person in the situation. So whatever the reason is, I do, like I said, feel like you will contact them, and they'll sort of, I don't know, I feel like they'll still be sulking. I think they'll still be a little bit in their head and not necessarily quite sure yet of if they can move into smoother territory, but it is ahead. It's definitely ahead. And I think there will be some delays with the Hanged One here in the middle. It feels like there will be moments of kind of delay, and where this person is just kind of sitting on maybe the few interactions or what they see after this sort of like weird moment that you guys have. But with Judgment coming next, I feel like this person is going to have a little bit of a wake-up call where they start to, I don't know what to do. I think they'll get their mojo back, is kind of how it feels. And, you know, while it might be, I want to say too little too late, but it almost doesn't feel like it's going to feel that way to you, because in a sense, like, we're seeing you offering this Knight of Cups, and we're seeing them coming in with the Knight of Wands, and they're coming back to you because I feel like they're going to realize that they messed up by not, you know, smoothing things over with you when you try to smooth things over. Like, I think eventually it will take them, it does feel like it's going to take them a little bit longer to come to a full conclusion, because this person is so heady. Like, they really kind of hold grudges sometimes, but it's like I said, because they keep saying the same thing to themselves. Like, it's almost obsessive instead of like being expansive and kind of having a higher octave about how a situation might work. Like, it feels like they need some more time. So, you know, once they get a little bit more grounded, it feels like, and give themselves more quality time to personally assess the situation. And I don't know, with Judgment here, I'm almost feeling like they're going to recognize that there is some sort of like missed opportunity here that they might have the last chance to go back on. Like, this almost makes me feel, this is kind of a weird thing to think of, but like when people were buried, like in the olden days, they would be buried with like a bell. Like, if they weren't actually dead, you could ring the bell. This is what all these people are reminding me of right now. So it makes me feel like this person is going to realize, like, wait, hold on, like, there's still more time for me to like save this tower situation. Like, and I feel like they're going to realize that and come back. So let's see what we have here to clarify even more. we have Mercury retrograde, which we are in right now. So again, and it says communication issues, review everything, electronic issues. So I feel like this person may have had some miscommunication with you as well when it came up to commitment, and maybe that will be what comes back. And maybe in this time frame, you have had a good reflection period of really sinking into what you want in a relationship and really expanding on what you deserve and how you want to implement that. Like, you stood in that queen energy and really like figured out what it was. And maybe before Mercury retrograde is when you said something to them. Yeah, we have divorce here. Let's see. We have let go and challenges. And then back of the deck is communicate. Interesting. So with divorce here, I mean, maybe this is a situation where, like I said, like it feels like maybe you guys broke up or something like that, but there is some kind of tenderness in this situation where maybe the challenges are what you're trying to let go of. Because with communicate being on the back of the deck in the tower, I feel like there was something that, like I said, happened in the past that is making you guys need to have a conversation, maybe about this breakup, or maybe about something that both of you guys do need to like let go of. Let me clarify this really quick. Clarify divorce. We have lovers. Clarify divorce. We have 9 of Pentacles. Yeah, it's like everybody saved themselves in the situation with how things were handled. Like, I feel like this person keeps telling themselves that things are fine, that, you know, they stand where they stand, that sort of thing. And maybe that is where there was a disconnect, because the lovers can be a conversation that brings awarenesses. So that could have been really disruptive and, like I said, force some sort of separation here. With let go and challenges, let's clarify that. We have the 3 of Wands. Oh, and we have the 5 of Swords. And then we have the 4 of Wands. Okay, exactly. So I feel like you guys both took room for yourselves to really look at the situation for where you actually stand in it. And like I said, this person really has ruminated a lot on commitment. So maybe they told you one thing, because we do have making up tales that harm others. So maybe there was this tenderness, like I said, this obvious tenderness in this connection, but this person made up lies about how they felt about it. And that could have caused some problems. Maybe that was the communication issue, is like this person really couldn't convey like their true feelings. Like maybe they do have some blockages, or like I said, some opinions about relationships or something like that, that they were unable to communicate properly. You know, maybe they experienced divorce in their life, but now they're having new experiences, maybe that they had in their own time, where they're realizing, okay, like, it makes me think of like somebody who had a divorced parent, like watched their parents get divorced, but then they watched their parents get remarried. Like, this makes me think that they're letting go of the fear of divorce and not surrendering to that challenge, but really like making up a new fate for themselves, because we have the 3 of Wands here. So they're really envisioning what could be a different path to take. And with the 5 of Swords, with the 5 of Swords, they are, you know, convinced that they could be slight-handed in this situation, that there are challenges here. But then it comes to the 4 of Wands. So I feel like, again, they're going to let go of those challenges and choose to have that stability that they want, and to really maybe put in more of the effort, honestly. And that's what we were seeing here with the King of Wands, is they're finding their way back home to you and to this tender connection that they have with you, because that is something that, like I said, it ruminates in their brain, and they have a hard time processing that that's exactly what they're here for and like want. But at the end of the day, everything else just feels like heavy weight to them compared to this kind of opportunity. This gives them a feeling of like, wow, there's hope for me. There's justice to maybe the poor situations that I've suffered in the past. You know, it makes me think of this person getting kind of a new kick for life, or like I said, their mojo back. So That being said, group 2, it really feels like they have some good leisure vibes headed your way that come from letting go of maybe this tense energy that can occur between you guys when it happens, or when you guys just kind of stand in your own energies a little too hard. You know, that is a common thing. That's 8th house energy, which is a connection of energies between two parties. So we're seeing that being a thing for everybody. Is there's power struggles in relationships, and when you are so caught up in what is potential and they're so caught up in what is their potential, like sometimes people don't always grow the exact same way, and that's what creates this sort of rift. So it feels like there's almost a coming to terms with that and not letting it stop you and where you want this to go. So that being said, group 2, I hope this message resonated. And if it did, make sure you give this video a big thumbs up. And of course, subscribe to my channel for more intuitively channeled messages like this. If you want to book a reading with me, check out the link below to my snip feed, or you can DM me on Instagram, whatever works best for you. Otherwise, I'm going to skedaddle, and I will see you guys in a later video. Peace. Hey group 3, let's get started with your tarot pick a card reading today, all about what is next in this connection. So what can you expect? First, we are going to start off with these oracle cards to lay the foundation for us. Your energy is meant to be over here and theirs is meant to be over here. If you need to flip-flop them, go ahead. But if these neither pile, or neither side, I should say, resonates for you, I would check out a different pile or a different reading because it just might not be for you. So, one second. Excuse me. Alrighty. So, their energy is coming out as the Virgin, maintaining symbolic purity of heart and spirit and fear of intimate union. And your energy is coming out as Goddess, the feminine expressed through wisdom, nature, life force, and sensuality. Shadow is exploitation of the female nature and form. Clarified by regret. And you are clarified by gentleness. They are clarified again by Pluto. And you are being clarified by the 12th house. Then the overall connecting energy that we have here for you guys is friendship. Love that card. And it is number 22. That's interesting. So what we see here obviously is a friendship, whether it is more than that or less, you know, obviously it depends on your situation, but I do feel like there is more, or at least a regret if there is not more from this person, because we have fear of intimate union, which really struck me because I knew right away that this person has commitment issues. Then we have regret and Pluto coming out on their side. There is a part of them that is really regretting maybe the way that they have withholded in this connection. It was interesting too, because when I was trying to pull cards for this pile, I would always just ask for one more, and I would get a lot more than I asked for. I got at least 2 each time, so it took a second before I got just one more card. So I feel like with this person, maybe that's how they operate. Maybe they're very like stop go, hot cold, but then also I feel like they're viewing you as this very tempting energy. With Goddess, gentleness, and 12th house, there's something alluring and mysterious about you that just pulls them in. Maybe it is this very like divine feminine energy coming out of you that is very sensual, very beautiful, very luxurious. I feel like there's something about you that always looks like you are just relaxing. I mean, you're the kind of person that could be on a run and people are just like, wow, like they are living their best life. Like it's just kind of funny how this person views you in that regard. So I had to note that. But I feel like though with Pluto here as well, and then 12th house, I think there is a very big influence that you have on this person. I think you're always kind of nudging them energetically, and they know that, and it kind of annoys them, not gonna lie, but it makes them like, it's funny because it annoys them because they're like obsessive. They think a lot about you in this connection, and it's almost like they're trying to purify themselves from their temptation of you. Like, and that's what the friendship energy is like the main thing, because they're like, we're just friends. We're just supposed to be friends. And they have a really hard time just grasping like, yep, it's just friends. Like, because they're constantly thinking about your beauty and your gentleness in this sort of like feline quality in you. We see with the cat here. And then, like I said, with the goddess energy, it's very feminine energy. There's something about you that is so graceful. And so, like, I mean, like I said, I mean, you could be in the middle of just doing like the most intense workout or other things, if you know what I mean. And this person would look at you and be like, what a work of art. Like, I'm telling you, like, you could be in your most nasty state and this person is like, I'm all in. Like, they are, and it repulses them a little bit because they're like, why am I attracted to something so dirty? And not in dirty as a dirty way, but like dirty as in like a dirty way, you know what I mean? Like, they're like, ooh, this girl is bad, like she's got it going on. But like I said, like you're like a, why is this car horn going off? See, but that's the thing, that's the annoying energy I was talking about, where it's like, why are you getting my attention right now? Why are you pulling me? 444 on the timer when I said that too. Like, there's something here about the stability and the consistency of their allure to you that is causing them some serious emotions. And with regret here, I don't know if they, well, I would say I don't know if they turn away from you, but you literally see her in this card turning away from this energy, which is also kind of faced away, but like in a like, I'm fine how I am sort of way. Like, that's how I'm saying this. And it's just like, fine. Yeah, you're disgusting anyways. Like, it's almost like this person is trying to convince themselves that they don't like you, that they don't have this obsession with you, that they aren't like this deeply entangled in your energy. I feel so theatric in this energy because I feel like you are so theatric in the way you are a show. You are a walking show. And this person is so deep and bubbly and underneath the surface. Like, my hand is itching right now because it's like this person's getting mad at me for talking about it because they're so deep. Like, they really feel, I just keep like itching myself right now. Like, all of a sudden I'm just like, I'm stuck. I'm like crawling out of my skin. And that's what this person feels like your influence is on them. Like, they can't focus. And that's what they might push you away. They might turn away from this because they fear connection. They fear that deep energy because they live in that. They don't really understand the release. Like, when you're constantly like, I don't know, this person's like a swamp monster in a way, and they would hate that. They would literally hate that. Like I said, it's like they're this person's got to be a clean freak or something. Like, they definitely shower more than once a day. Like, they love being clean. And it's funny because, like I said, they would hate that I call them a swamp monster, but they are a swamp monster in the sense of like they are literally Shrek, like just wanting to be on their own. Like, they want to live in their own energy, and they kind of, you know, they're disgusted by things that are different than them. And I think there's a lot of differences to you, but it's just funny, like disgusted, and like these are such extreme words, but like I said, like it's all coming from a place of like extreme obsession, passion, like the complete opposite of disgusted. Like, they are infatuated with you, but they are personally disgusted by having that much attraction to somebody. So going back to what I was saying though, with regret, it feels like they are sad that they have pushed this away. Like, they have restrained themselves. They've drained themselves. You know, they went from feeling all this intensity to maybe now it's like flatline because they pulled away. Something about this though, like I said, they're not settled with friendship. They see you almost like casually playing with it and just being like, yeah, it's fine. Like, no matter what happens, happen. Like, you are so chill, and it kind of pisses them off because, like I said, they're just like, but I feel so much about it all the time. Okay, let's clarify some of this about what is going to happen next for group 3 in this connection. This person, it's funny because like I feel like when they pull back like to be their friend, like they still will give you something, you know what I mean? Like, you guys might have moments where they don't give in to the temptation, and you're just like, whatever, you just kind of surrender to it. Like, as you do, like, I just feel like a hair flip in the wind. You're like, okay, I'm going to do whatever else I'm going to do. Like, you just don't get like, fuck, just moving on. And like, maybe that's not how you feel. I mean, I feel like you were in your own seclusion. You are like very sad and like have your own feelings about it. But you know, you keep it to yourself. You might do other things to try to get yourself going. But, it's funny too, because I just feel like there's a lot of like alluring things that you'll do to this person where you're like, look at me. Maybe you'll take pictures and send it to him or something. Like, just like, come on, you want to talk to me. Like, that's how this person feels like you interact with them. So it's interesting though, because then this person gets very like, just like, no, I'm not going to do it anymore. Like, I'm not. And you're just like, okay, whatever. But then this person's like, wait a second. Well, why did I deny that? And then they're like, you're not paying attention to me. So they have a lot of confusion about this situation. And we see this with the 7 of Cups here as well. Like, they don't exactly know what to expect from you because they expect you to act one way and you don't. Like, you almost surrender to the situation. You don't fight it way too much. And that's interesting to this person. So we also have the Queen of Spears. I think you can make this person feel small. With the Queen of Spears, 100%. That's always a vibe. Let's see. Clarify what's happening next for group 3. Alrighty, we have the Queen of Hedgehogs. We have the Hermit. And we have the Queen of Flowers. Wow, we have 3 queens. What's the back of the deck? Back of the deck is the 7 of Hedgehogs. So right now, I feel like you guys are both looking at things and taking time to process what needs to be weeded out. I feel like there's a part of you that, like I said, is still not in denial necessarily, but is just kind of waiting, just kind of living your life. You are waiting though, is the thing that I'm seeing here with the 7 of Pentacles. And I think this person is working as well. I feel like they have, with the 8 of Spears here, I think they have a lot on their mind as it relates to what is good enough for you. And this is also the type of person that like they cannot, like they have to get their work done. And if they don't get their work done, they don't feel like they can rest. And that's the thing is like, you're always resting. So, and it's like, this pisses them off. That's what I mean. Like, how are you so carefree and casual and just living your life? Like, don't you have bills to pay? That's what this person wants to say to you. And I feel like that's what this person gets kind of frantic about, because they're like just confused. But then they also see that you are the kind of like teamwork that they like want to get involved in. They're like, wow, like this is so easy. And maybe they think that because you're a girl, like if you are a girl, I should say, but like in most cases, you're probably the girl here, and that you are someone that really gets just given money and given opportunities, whereas this person's like, I have to work so hard, like I have to maintain a pure soul in order to, do my job. And like, I feel like this person just has a lot of kind of resentment towards this leisure aspect in your life. So it feels like with the 7 of Cups, like I said, there is some real confusion about that, but maybe you put them in their place is what I want to say. Like with the Queen of Swords here, I think you said some things to them that made them feel really small and made them realize that the things that they, it's funny, I'm talking all this huffing and puffing energy, and we have the Queen of Hearts here. She is for real the queen of just like, she's off with your head every time. And that's totally this person's energy. They're like one minor inconvenience and they're like, off with your head. I'll cut you off. But then they're like sad about that they did that. And then we have the Queen of Spears here though. There's like you being like, listen up. I am not what you're telling me I am. There was still a gentleness though in the way that you did this, because we have the Queen of the Queen of Hedgehogs here, which is the Queen of Pentacles. And that makes me feel like you were very sure. The way you said what you said, like you were like, I know where I stand. I know what I have going on. I know what my investments are and where they are and how I'm placing them. There's something very like symbolic about the way that you came to this situation, because I think it really showed this person why they were so allured to you. Like there's a kind of emotional control that you have over yourself that has really warranted you a lot of benefits in your life and a lot of like financial success and financial freedoms. Maybe you have a lot more time on your hands, or you have a lot more authority or ability, like people listen to you. Like there's certain things where like you've really been this person that has shown up and gotten things going the right way, and you have something to show for that. And this person, you know, I feel like they're a very similar person too, but they feel a lot more subservient and they get mad about that. So maybe they treated this situation as another situation of that. But it's funny because they wanted to be in control of this situation, but somehow this situation has gotten control of them. And that's what's really alarming to this person. I think with the Hermit here, that's why they take some time out. You take some time out and things are just about focusing on yourselves, because there's always this sort of evaluation that seems to be happening between the two of you. And like I said, there's a leisure element with you, but there's not a very leisure element with them. You guys both are deeply emotional about this connection though, and you both have a lot of like expectations and ideas for how things are going to play out. So what we see though with the Queen of Flowers is it does feel like there is this moment of clarity where you both recognize the commonalities that you have in this situation. And maybe you both have, you know, really strong boundaries, or you hold really strong feelings about how to maintain a connection. Like, you know, I feel like you guys both have a lot of feelings that are up in the air right now, something that you can't exactly explain, but you have all the other foundations in your life really set that it's like, you know, the emotional part of it is going to be the work here. And I feel like accepting that with some kind of understanding that that is, you know, the only area really, because the Queen of Cups is the only energy we're missing here. So it feels like that is the only area where you guys are just going to have to like not agree to disagree, but understand that you guys are both kind of ambiguous emotionally right now. But you do know where you stand. You do know how to protect what you've created, and you do know how to stand by those investments and really make a positive, like, I don't know, like make a positive resolution because of the conclusions that you're able to make about like your own solidity, if that makes sense. Like that's kind of the thing that's nice about friendships in general, is that they help you recognize that you are part of something bigger. Like you have similar goals and interests as other people. And I think that this is something that you guys can help each other learn, because maybe you were somebody that just always felt alone in your endeavors. Like you've always had to kind of make your own way with life. And this person is the kind of person that really had to bow down to certain people and certain things in order to make their way in life. So you see how it's kind of opposite ends of the same spectrum of like needing to learn that there is some sort of common ground in the world. And that's where I feel like you guys both are having some wake-up calls. So yeah, we have communicate that came out. So there will be communication here in the future. We have health and date night. Maybe this is communicating about emotional health, where you're standing emotionally. Date night, move on. Pregnancy, geez. Let's clarify, move on. Water sign. Clarify pregnancy. Love spell. Back of the deck is distance. So with health, like I said, health issues could arise if you guys don't communicate your feelings with each other. And I feel like with the date night here, that is something where maybe you guys have moments where you do relieve that emotional tension, basically. And you do have like a moment of healing with your mental health and kind of, like I said, sitting back and evaluating, seeing where you stand, whatever. With move on and water sign, it does feel like this person is emotionally trying to get over this. However, I feel like there has already been some sort of thing made here. Like you guys already have this really good friendship. So with pregnancy and love spell, it makes me feel like they're like, there's already something going on here, you know? So if they really wanted to move on, it feels like they can't. Like it feels like they have things tying them here. You know, pregnancy, I mean, maybe, you know, you actually are pregnant or something like that. And that's like, you guys can't, I don't know, like that ties you guys together or something now. But I'm more so taking it as like you guys have already really, I don't know, like in the same sense of like in pregnancy, you have, you know, the baby in the womb as it grows and grows and grows. And I feel like you guys with this friendship, you've had a relationship of deep emotional energy with the water sign here that has really kept you guys in each other's energy. And even when you leave, it's like you guys are a part of each other, you know, and like, I mean, when you think about when you have sex with someone too, because I do feel like this is a strong friends with benefits situation. I feel like, you know, you are swapping DNA with people. Like you are literally putting your juices into each other. So it makes me feel like this person, you know, they might have moments with you that they were like, this is good, but it's getting to be too much. So they try to move on. But then it brings them back to the same sort of, like, I don't know, it's something brewing. Like that's what it feels like with this person. Let me pull some clarifiers here with the tarot. We have the King of Hedgehogs. Yeah, and we have the Queen of Hedgehogs here too. The transformation. Eight of Spears again. One more. Seven of Hedgehogs. Yeah, I feel like this person, like I said, they can be very abundant. That's okay. I was going to say avoidant, but they are very abundant too. You both are very abundant, and you both have a very, like, thirsty energy about you where you want the best of the best. And I feel like you guys might have moments that are really tender where you're connecting with each other, you feel a really strong bond and friendship, and then they move on. Then they ghost. They do something, you know, they work on their home front and they do what they need to do back at home, back where business needs to be tended to essentially. But you know, with the Queen of Hedgehogs being the bird in the tree from Alice in Wonderland versus the king being this guy from the little shack that eats the oysters, you know, this guy was a little bit more greedy in the sense that he was just always on the up and up, like more and more and more. I'm always going to do better. I'm always going to whatever. And the Queen of Hedgehogs was pretty much just sitting on her coin, like sitting on the energy that she's crafted and was nurturing it. So I feel like this is how you guys handle the situation when things move on. It's like, okay, well, I already have my fill and you already got your fill, so I guess we'll do our thing. But with transformation, which is the death card in this deck, and the Eight of Spears, I feel like you guys both really worry about moving on from each other. And that kind of deep obsession almost brings this sort of metamorphosis in the energy. Like I said, like it brews something because the distance, it's like distance makes the heart go fonder with love spell here too. Like it makes you, and it says someone is expecting. It's like you guys are expecting each other because you know that even if you aren't actively working on something like a baby, you know what I mean? Like even if you're not sitting there being like, oh, I'm growing my baby right now in my stomach, like your baby's still growing. And that's what it feels like this relationship is. Like, even though your relationship is not, you know, even if it's just friends and you guys have just been friends for like years, like something was growing there and it was love is what it feels like. And this person may feel like they have been enticed by you, like I said. Oh, and it's funny because I kept saying like that whole allure of everything, and it's like you have been witched. So this person literally feels like you are coming into their energy and pulling them in, even when you guys might be at a distance with each other, you know. There does seem to be a lot of like not getting away from each other. You know, maybe you guys see each other in the astrals and whatnot, but there is a lot of draw that you guys have. So in the future, it does feel like this is going to be another moment where you guys come back to each other and it's like, oh, yeah, by the way, my feelings are still here for you and they have just been growing because that's how it works. Distance made the heart grow fonder, quite literally. So let's see. Last clarifying cards here. What is next for the connection for pile number 3? We have communication is key. Communication is coming in big here for sure. We have adjustments are required. And have faith in your dreams Back of the deck is conclusions are within reach. So I do feel like you guys will be having a big conversation, maybe about where both of you guys have, because I feel like you guys both have pretty solid lives. So I think the adjustments that are required are just looking at where you might be able to minimize stressors in your life in order to make this dream come true, essentially. And maybe this dream right now, like I said, is just maintaining this friendship and keeping things going. But honestly, it feels like there's something more that this person wants here from you and from this relationship. And vice versa, honestly. I think you guys are both really enticed to each other. You feel like you guys fill each other's cup, and you both seem to want to do what it takes to make things work. And like I said, this person has a lot of regret maybe for how they handled things in the past and their hot and cold behavior, but I feel like they're recognizing through what you said to them, like I said, that maybe made them feel small. I think that helped them have a little bit more understanding of how to navigate this situation. And like I said, like they recognize now, like you said, that the feelings are ambiguous right now and that you aren't really sure, but you do have love for them. But everything else like is pretty structured in this relationship. So if they can maybe maintain their distance or something like that, like you guys can continue this cycle. But yeah, I kind of want to just pull one more random card just to see the vibe. Yeah, we have 8 of Cups and Page of Pentacles. So I feel like this is really going to be this opportunity for them and you, I guess, to walk away from certain things that you're like, you know what, this isn't necessarily serving me appropriately. With the Page of Pentacles and the 3 of Cups, King of Cups. Yeah, I feel like there's going to be some sort of reckoning that you're having where it's either like, you know what, we can really like go our own ways with this, and you can really not be a part of my life, or you can actually decide that you are meant for something more here. And, I think this is still what's ambiguous. They don't know their feelings yet. You don't know your feelings yet, but I think you guys might agree on that ambiguity, if that makes sense. So that being said, group 3, I hope this message resonated for you. And if it did, make sure you give this video a big thumbs up. And of course, subscribe to my channel for more intuitively channeled messages like this. If you want to book a reading with me, you can, what am I saying? Check out the link below, as always, to my snip feed, or you can DM me on Instagram, whatever works best. Otherwise, I'm going to skedaddle, and I'll see you guys in a later video. Peace.